tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
I was dancing. You guys, it's Friday. I'm so excited about the Fridayness of this Friday. You have no idea. No idea.
Oh my gosh.
Mock is going to clean her entire house this weekend. And you know what? I got to tell you, I wish I was there.
Oh my God. I wish you were too.
Because that is my jam. That is where I shine, you guys. You put me in a house that needs to be organized and clean, and I am your huckleberry. And I'm not there, and it pains me.
It pains me too, because I could really use the help.
Really want to be there. Okay. Coming up on today's show, you guys, the Loomer Problem. It's become a big problem. It goes mainstream. Yeah. Trump's new tax policy. We're going to talk about that. John Legend can GTFO.
He can take every seat.
He can take every single seat. All the seats.
Yes.
And no more debate. No debates for you. Mm-mm. No more debates.
No more.
None.
That's
all
it.
Of that and so much more coming up on today's show. I'm pausing. I'm pausing right now.
It's a lot.
I was told by our digital guy that I need to pause. I talk too fast. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to this podcast and have checked out all of our socials. chicksontheright.com/links. Do that.
Please do that. Please.
Do it. Please
do it. A couple of what is it? Locals. For some reason, we're not on Twitch this morning. I don't know why. If you're a Twitch follower, sorry. It didn't work. I don't know why. It said our title was invalid. Maybe because I said John Legend can GTFO, and that's frowned upon on Twitch.
How would they even know what that means?
I don't know.
It's maybe an acronym.
Maybe they got their bots to know, and
it's like the Matrix bots are coming in.
Maybe. You don't know.
Jerks.
But over on Locals, Osuki sent a tip saying Trump is exactly like, this is a quote, Trump is exactly like Mussolini. His term should end that way, Winkler wrote. Mussolini was executed in 1945. Winkler's post was deleted shortly after it was shared on the social media platform. These people want him dead. They wouldn't say things like this otherwise. I have no idea who Winkler is or what this is about, but thank you for sending that. And Judy Flood said, good morning, chicks.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Indeed. Happy Friday. Indeed. Mm-hmm. And because it is Friday the 13th.
Oh, it is? It is
Friday the 13th. Yeah. We do have a winner to announce in the t-shirt giveaway. Congratulations to Donna Moffitt. You are going to get this limited edition t-shirt that was put together, of course, by our pal at In Real Life Creations on Etsy. This is the new design. It's got me with the cat ears and Daisy with the witch's hat for Halloween. Hat. So Donna, Carrey will be reaching out to you to get all your shipping information and all that stuff. But congratulations about your win.
Super cute.
It's super cute. If anybody else is interested in that, it's In Real Life Creations on Etsy. You can grab one of your own. I don't remember what I said.
About what?
I wrote down the next thing that's going to appear, and I don't remember. Like the teaser to me is not registering.
Okay, we'll just put it up on the screen.
Be a surprise. So yes, let's see. Oh yes, here it is. So this is the movie. Am I Racist? Matt Walsh's movie comes out today, and the people that he basically trapped in that movie are deleting or deactivating their Twitter accounts like crazy.
Oh my God, I love it.
Including Robin DiAngelo, hence my name today, Robin DiMacalo. She is one of them. And so they are running scared. And I love it.
It's so fantastic.
So beautiful.
I love that last sentence. Matt is single-handedly destroying wokeism by simply asking them what they think.
Right?
That's it.
I mean, that is just so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin DiAngelo, because if you saw the trailer that we played a few weeks ago, at the very end, you can see that he actually got Robin DiAngelo fooled enough to participate in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all just like, oh my God, how is that going to go? So I cannot wait to see that. She has responded, and we are going to share with you her response momentarily. But first, I don't know if you guys noticed our red lipstick today.
We do have red. Both of us have red lipstick on.
And it's actually the same, which is amazing because you can kind of see that like the same color can look different on different people, which is the most exciting things about this color. This color, you guys, is called, drumroll please,
MAGA red.
MAGA red.
MAGA red.
47. And the little caption underneath says, "Making America Great Again, one lip at a time."
And then the lipstick itself is really, like the container is really cool. See?
Look at how beautiful that is.
I know, right?
It is so beautiful. And by the way, it's a tribute to the MAGA movement. It's a symbol of American pride. Make America glamorous again, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
See what we did there? MAGA. It is a very specific red. This was developed right here in the United States, by the way. It is a very specific red, MAGA red number 47, of course, in anticipation of Trump's victory in November. And it's American made and manufactured. It is all the free things that you want it to be. So it's certified kosher, halal, vegan, cruelty-free, certified by Leaping Bunny. All of those things that you care about when it comes to cosmetics, you are covered when it comes to this particular lipstick. And so this is really a tribute to the MAGA movement. And when you visit GoRed47.com/chicks, you can take advantage of their BOGO offer right now. Grab one for yourself and grab one for your bestie if you want to. Or here's what I think is the better idea now that they're doing this BOGO offer, because these are very limited edition. Like once they're gone, they're gone. I would recommend with the BOGO thing, keeping one to use and then keeping one like that you don't
as
use.
it like a collector's item.
As a collector's item. Exactly.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that's the best way to handle the BOGO thing. That's just my personal opinion. If you want to gift it, you do
I'm right there with you.
But I kind of like the idea of just saving one. You know what I mean? Because obviously I'm going to use it. Like, that looks good.
It's a great color. It's fantastic. Who doesn't like red lipstick, you guys? It's fabulous. I know, right?
And by the way, part of the proceeds will go to the Trump campaign as well. So this is a really, really good way to support your candidate and also to look glamorous. So just go to GoRed47.com/ And I love that idea from Kathleen to buy one for Kamala. I think that is a fantastic
idea.
idea.
God, we should totally buy one for Kamala, right?
All right, back to the news. We need to talk more about all of this Am I Racist stuff and Robin DiAngelo's statement.
God, that's a long statement.
Oh my God. It's forever long. We're obviously not going to read it out loud, but you can go look at it.
Lord.
She released a 3-page statement.
Robin.
And I was actually really glad that she described how this happened, because I was very much wondering, how did they pull this off, right? So apparently last year, there was this group that claimed to be making the documentary film called Shades of Justice. This is how they spun it, okay? And they spun it as this way to address racism in the United States. They wanted to interview all of these anti-racist activists, authors, thought leaders, and they offered between 10 and 20 grand for her to participate. So she said, how about we settle on 15?
Oh my God.
And then she agreed to it because she's a money-grubbing, racist, grifting hag.
Right.
And so she claims that right when she got there, like things didn't feel right because it looked like he was wearing a fake wig. No one would look her in the eye.
You think? You think it looked like that, Robin? Oh my God. Okay.
And so then there was apparently what he made her do is they had this black producer or crew member on the set, and Matt said, hey, why don't we have you give him some cash because of reparations? Like you always talk about helping Black people. Why don't you give him some of your own cash right now?
Right.
And she says she was like so uncomfortable and like was worried that Ben, this Black guy, would be like super uncomfortable. And he was like, no, I'm totally down. Like, hand me all the cash.
Give me some money. I'd love to have some cash right now. Who doesn't want cash?
I just love this so much. So she goes on and on and on. And she's like, their deception was so carefully planned and well-funded. And Matt Walsh is like Satan, essentially. And here's what the Southern Poverty Law Center says about him. I mean, give me a break.
It's like, okay, She has to do that. She has to bring in the Southern Poverty Law Center. And give me a break.
I know.
God.
And then she's like, I'm not going to see the film. Bullshit. She will be absolutely in the front row seeing it, dying to see how bad she looks.
Of course she's going to see it. She's going to go in there in her own wig and a beard, incognito, and she's going to totally see it. Absolutely, she will.
Oh my gosh.
They will not prevail in their efforts to stop the work for racial justice and grifting. The hag.
So she releases this statement, and Matt responded and said, Robin DiAngelo has issued a statement denouncing our film. She claims that the movie is, quote, designed to humiliate and discredit anti-racist educators and activists. She couldn't be more correct in that assessment. Thank you, Robin.
So great. It's just great.
You gotta love it.
God.
You gotta love it.
It's a thing of beauty.
Also, this happened yesterday. So as we approach January 6th of 2025, apparently for the very first time, this day is going to be designated a national special security event by DHS. So now they're like going to have it super secure in case all these crazy people decide to tear into the Capitol again.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think this is a horrible idea.
But my question is, do federal employees get this day off?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a holiday. I think they're just saying that this is a national security event.
And a national security event day.
Which means that they're probably going to have like so much security. So much. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean, shouldn't we have a lot of security every day? I mean, I feel like that's something that we should do all the time. Right.
It does seem like it would be a good idea.
Right. But, maybe we should do that like on our border.
That would be great.
Can we start there? That would be maybe a good start. And then just secure everything everywhere for the American people. 'Cause that's your job. Just a thought.
It is a good thought. And it's just interesting that I don't know what they're preparing for. Like, are they preparing for Trump to not win? And so they're assuming that there's going to be a similar reaction. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever happens, they're calling this a national security event.
I had an interesting conversation with one of the swim dads the other day. He's 40. He's younger than me. A lot of the parents are younger than me. But had a nice conversation with him about this election and everything. And he is convinced, and I thought this was an interesting perspective, that no matter who wins, there's going to be unrest.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely agree with that.
Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if it's Trump or if it's Kamala. There's just going to be unrest because if Trump wins, of course we'll be delighted because we're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so great. He's going to get things back on track. Of course we're going to be super stoked about that, right? They will not be stoked. God. Because everything that they've tried to do to keep him out of office, they will be. You guys remember like the memes with the liberals on the ground crying. I mean, take that, times it by 1,000. That's how they will feel. And it's going to be bad.
And we already know what it looks like when the left riots. It looks bad. It looks real bad.
Yeah. So that's that side of the equation. And then, and if Kamala wins, I just feel like it's going to be bad anyway. Like there's the dumpster fire that we see with the country is going to continue to rage and be on fire and incinerate. So it's just going to be bad either way. I mean, I hate to be Debbie Downer. I really do. But I don't think that he is alone in thinking that way.
No.
And it just needed to be said out loud. So there you go. That's what we're here for. Hi. Happy Friday. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So in other headlines, this is also not great news, I must say. But if you've been following what's going on in Ukraine and their demand to be able to strike inside of Russia with weapons that they've received from the West, apparently that's going to happen. And David Sachs announced that the White House is ready to greenlight the use of American missiles to strike targets deep inside of Russia. And this is bad. This is real bad. And as RFK Jr. said, these guys are going to get us into World War III. It's a warmonger's dream since 1961. And finally, they have a president and a vice president, Kamala, who are very happy to go along with it.
Delighted. An entire party is delighted to go along with it. They are just bloodthirsty for this.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And then when Trump says, I want to, like, on day one, I want to get us out of this. I want to try to stop this. They can't have that. They can't. It's the military industrial complex. It's the warmongering machine. They want so badly for this to happen. It's like a moneymaker for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you've got kids that are military age, I'm terrified of
or
this.
grandkids. This should terrify you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just, everything that they do is wrong. Literally everything this administration does is wrong. Everything.
They don't give a crap about your kids.
Nope,
They don't.
They do not. Also, just going back to the debate the other night, there was a point in the debate where Trump had talked about Seattle and having like the leftist crazies take over a large part of Seattle. You guys all remember Chaz, right?
Oh yeah. And Chop. Remember Chaz and Chop?
Chaz and Chop. That's right.
Yes.
And so unbelievably, I like this, you can't make this shit up, but unbelievably, the Seattle Times tried to say that was false. So they said, Trump falsely claimed during the presidential debate Tuesday that protesters took over a big portion of Seattle during the Capitol Hill organized protests in 2020. They are the ones that reported on it when it was happening, because it was happening in Seattle, and now they're actually trying to say
it didn't happen.
What you guys are talking about.
It says it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. It didn't happen, you guys. What are you talking about?
I cannot believe that.
The gaslighting it's off the charts. We've never seen something like this. I just can't. I can't.
It's just, thank God for Twitter's community notes, because this is exactly how they're supposed to work.
Thank God for Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God for Elon, who bought Twitter, who made it what it is, because it used to be run by freaking loony liberals. And now he's like, hey, everybody just say what they want to say. Just go ahead and just do that. Thank God. Yeah.
And then we all know the absolute piss poor job that the moderators did from ABC. Lindsay and David were awful. I mean, just beyond awful.
Her name is Shoulder Pads McGee. Mom.
Shoulder Pads McGee. Well, now, of course, as you might expect, she is being exalted. She is the next best thing. The LA Times calls her, they say, Lindsay Davis held Trump's feet to the fire. How she became ABC News's rising star.
Yeah. It's the shoulder pads.
It's the shoulder pads.
That's what it
is.
So
Dana Bash got lambasted for not being a hack during the CNN debate, and now Lindsay is the rising star. This is why you should hate the press way more than you already do.
Lindsay Davis, fullback.
Isn't
that amazing? Next up in the Kansas City Chiefs lineup, Lindsay Davis.
Ooh, and then before I show you the next thing, because you're going to be so excited, because it is a tweet from none other than Andrea Tantaros.
No,
I
know. In the world
is Andrea Tantaros?
Where is she?
Where is she? Well, she's tweeting, and I will show you that in a second. But also, I wanted to ask if anybody noticed my adorable hoodie.
It's cute.
It's adorable.
It's cute. It's oatmeal. You guys would, but my shirt, I think my shirt's better though.
Okay, well, both of our shirts are awesome. We're wearing Grunt Style today. Okay, that is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Please. Mine is so cute. Yeah.
But you guys, in places other than Texas, there is some fall happening.
That's so true.
So she can wear her cute little t-shirt. I'm already, in the mornings anyway, I'm looking to hoodies. And this is the perfect one because it's thin, right? So it's like perfect for right now when it does get hot in the day.
I have one too. It's really great.
I mean, and it's just so slouchy and comfy. And so right now, Grunt Style has all of your fall favorites. They've got a ton of hoodies. They've got a ton of sweatshirts. They've got all kinds of styles, colors, designs. You should absolutely check them out at gruntstyle.com. Haitian.com. You can go to their website, and then under the top menu, you can look at shop by category to find like hoodies, outerwear, button downs for both men and women, by the way. Or they're in the notes section, like if you're watching on YouTube right now, in the notes section of the video, you can see a direct link to that part of their store. But remember that if you see something and you like it, grab it, because they do limited runs of absolutely everything. So, you know, this isn't something if you see something you really love, don't wait, because a lot of that stuff sells out really, really quick. And for newbies, if you've never gotten something from Grunt Style before, use code CHICKS15 at checkout. You'll get 15% off. If you are a returning customer, use code CHICKS10 for 10% off. Again, this is at gruntstyle.com.
Somebody wanted to know what it said, so I stood up and showed him again. It's witch, please.
Yeah. All right, so let me show you what Andrea Tantaros said, because this was awesome. She was totally making fun of David Muir, and she said, I used to work out at the same gym as David Muir. All the trainers and staff collectively referred to him as Zoolander because he would stand in front of the mirror posing and flexing for uncomfortably long periods of time. A dim bulb, but enthusiastic jazzerciser.
Oh my God, this is the greatest tweet of all time. And so believable.
Totally believable.
You know, he would do that. He was like, this is Magnum face.
I loved her. Remember her on the Five?
I loved her too. So like, what happened to her? We need to get her on our show.
Vanished. She just absolutely vanished.
She dated Dave Navarro. Remember? She was kind of a rocker chick, like down deep. I really dug that about her. We need to get her on our show.
And then she became just so mysterious.
Yes.
Right? Like she was just like she literally vanished.
She's like,
from Fox and then from the online world.
Yeah.
And then what was it, like last year? Just randomly she tweeted something, and then now she's a little bit more active. And this is a banger. I love it.
Hilarious.
Love it.
Yep.
Also, Blaire White, who you may follow on the Twitter machine. We've also had her on our show. She also tweeted about the Springfield pet eating story. She said, people who believe the Springfield pet eating story are listening to Citizen 911 calls, video testimonies, and city council live streams. People who say it's a hoax are listening to a single statement from the mayor, who has every reason to cover it up. People versus government. Always.
Amen to that. Amen.
Right?
You can tell like the people who are just so willing to listen to the, legacy media, mainstream media, and like she said, the government, they're just like, oh yeah, sir, may I have another?
Yep.
Those people, you just know the difference. I got attacked by a family member yesterday on my Facebook page because he was like, this is fake and those people are illegal. And you're just like, what kind of narrative are you trying to run with? I mean, it's like, you guys are supposed to be the party of research. And I'm like, here's your research, biatch. And so I just listed all sorts of stuff. I was just like, I cannot with people like you. God. I'm over it.
Oh my gosh. And then also an unlikely person telling people not to necessarily dismiss this as a hoax came in the form of the astral projection herself, Marianne Williamson, who said, continuing to dump on Trump because of the eating cats issue will create blowback on November 5th. Haitian voodoo is in fact real. And to dismiss the story out of hand rather than listen to the citizens of Springfield, Ohio confirms in the minds of many voters the stereotype of Democrats as smug, elite jerks who think they're too smart to listen to anyone outside their own silo.
God, go Marianne.
Right? I was like, look at that.
Look at the woo-woo lady go. I love it.
She was like, oh wait, is this about witchcraft? Let me talk about it.
I got it. I'm in. I know all about the witchcraft. Yeah, I actually put a video on our Instagram page yesterday of a young lady, beautiful young lady who said that I think her father was from Haiti and they came here. She's estranged from him now, but she talked a lot about the culture. And, there's some voodoo crap going on in the culture. I mean, you can't, why can't we just talk about this stuff without being called racist? And she said it in the video.
Yeah.
She's like, it's not racist to talk about cultural things. Like, what is that? Why is that? I don't get it. Why? Because some people have more melanin in their skin than I do. We can't talk about that. It's just dumb. It's so stupid. So people need to quit being afraid to talk about stuff like this. Just talk about it. What the hell?
Talk about it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what prompted Merrick Garland to come out yesterday and be a big fat crybaby to the world about how his Department of Justice is being treated. But that is exactly what he did. He came out and he almost, you know how he almost always sounds like he's about to cry?
Always.
That's just like his default voice.
Mhm.
So he came out to whine about how people don't trust the Department of Justice anymore, or many of the institutions in our government. And it's like he can't understand why.
Why don't you like me? Why?
Right?
Why?
If you missed it, here is a little bit of the pity party. Right here.
It's coming.
A range of public officials across the country. Over the past 3.5 years, there has been an escalation of attacks on the Justice Department's career lawyers, agents, and other personnel that go far beyond scrutiny, criticism, and legitimate and necessary oversight of our work. These attacks have come in the form of conspiracy theories, dangerous falsehoods, efforts to bully and intimidate career public servants by repeatedly and publicly singling them out, and threats of actual violence. Through your work, you have made clear that the Justice Department will not be intimidated by these attacks. But it is dangerous and outrageous that you have to endure them. It is dangerous to target and intimidate individual employees of this department solely for doing their jobs. And it is outrageous that you have to face these unfounded attacks because you are doing what is right and upholding the rule of law. You deserve better. You deserve gratitude.
You deserve what you sow. You know what I mean? Like, it's the whole time he was like, respect my authority. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, what you don't get up on a podium and just demand respect. You have to earn that respect.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Like, you need to be nice to me. You need to respect me.
That's essentially what he was doing.
You need to respect me. Respect me. I'm not going to just do that, dude. But that's cute.
Well, Trey Gowdy was having absolutely none of it.
How about Comey admitting on stage that he did something to Donald Trump's administration that he never would have even tried under Barack Obama?
Right.
You remember the book tour he went on where he just couldn't wait for the audience to applaud when he said, to be honest with you, we wouldn't have even tried it. How about Peter Strzok? I don't know if Merrick Garland was on the golf course with other judges when Peter Strzok and Lisa Page and Andy McCabe and Jim Baker and Kevin Klein-Smith all conspired to help one Democrat candidate over a Republican candidate. So if Merrick Garland really believes that the DOJ has not been weaponized, then not only does he not need to be the AG, he frankly doesn't need a driver's license. He is delusional if he believes that.
We dodged a bullet with him being on the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
I mean, holy crap, you guys.
And Mike Davis, who we've also had on our show, said, "Dear Merrick Garland, go to hell." And then he listed all the other people that are part of that department who can also go exactly to that same place.
Right.
He said, "You have all politicized and weaponized the Biden-Kamala Justice Department to target Trump, his top aides, his attorneys, his supporters, parents, and Christians. You have earned every bit and much more of the criticism you have received."
Yeah, so suck a bowl, man.
Right?
The whining. Like the fact that he got, I was like, what is this about? And I started watching it yesterday and I'm like, so he's getting on a podium and bitching because people don't like him and respect him. Yeah, that's what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. And there are like people in jail because they're pro-life activists.
Right.
There are okay. All right. Yeah. We're doing this now. This is what we're doing. Okay.
That's what we're doing.
Wow. It's so upside down. Everything is so upside down right now.
I know.
It's every day is another day of, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. It can't get much worse. Right. And then you wake up, and I think it's going to be a good day. I'm just going to go out and feed the cows. I come back. What is this crap?
I know.
There's
always something. Like yesterday about midday, I was like, this seems like a relatively slow news day.
You said that to me. She wrote me and said that. I'm like, she shouldn't have written that.
I know. I totally jinxed it.
She should not have texted that to me.
It feels like everybody exploded.
Yes.
And one of the biggest pieces of news is that we're done with debates. Donald Trump first tweeted the stuff about the prize fighters, person saying that they want a rematch as who lost. He said, polls clearly show that I won the debate against Comrade Kamala. She immediately called for a second debate. They've destroyed our country. Everybody knows this. She was a no-show at the Fox debate and refused to do NBC and CBS. Kamala should focus on what she should have done during the last almost 4-year period. There will be no third debate. And she's begging for it. Like she's out there tweeting up a storm saying the American people deserved another debate.
Oh, come
What they
on.
deserve is for you to have a freaking sit down interview where you're asked questions that you cannot dance around. That's what we deserve.
Or a town hall like he's done.
Yes.
How about doing a town hall on Fox?
Yes, exactly.
Let's see that. I'd like to see that. Just you and like a bunch of people like Sean Hannity pummeling you with questions. Do that. Are you scared? Are you not scared to do that? I want to see her do that.
Yeah,
because it'll never happen.
Well, here was Trump at a speech yesterday talking about the fact that he's not going to do another debate and about these claims from Kamala's team that he was so angry during their debate. So here he is on both those things.
So because we've done 2 debates and because they were successful, there will be no third debate. It's too late anyway. The voting's already begun. You got to go out and vote. We got to vote. This is going to be the most important vote in the history of our country. It'll be the most important.
He's right.
People said that I was angry at the debate. Angry. I was angry. And yes, I am angry because he allowed 21 million illegal aliens invading our communities. Many of them are criminals. Today,
he is right about that.
He's 100% correct. I mean, I'm angry too.
Mm-hmm. He may not have won that debate. I don't think he's right about that, but like, that's fine that he wants to say that he did. But he's winning in the post-debate polls, and that is way more important than who actually won the debate night.
Yeah, and honestly, our news cycle and everything that happens in this country, people forget about a debate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, oh my God, there's so many people in this country that forgot that he got shot in the head.
Right.
Within 2 weeks, they forgot about it. So what they remember every day is their lives. Mm-hmm. They remember day to day. They look around, they're like, how's my life doing? Who's going to make it better? Well, it ain't Kamala.
Exactly. He also announced at the same rally in Arizona, a new tax policy.
I'm also announcing that as part of our additional tax cuts, we will end all taxes on overtime. You know what that means? Think of that. That gives people more of an incentive to work. It gives the companies it's a lot easier to get the people. And, you know, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime. The people who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them. Those are the people that really work. They're police officers, nurses, factory workers, construction workers, truck drivers, and machine operators. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break, and that's what we're doing because this is a good one. And I think it's going to be great for the country.
And taxes on Social Security, too.
That's right.
Why do people who are retired, when they've already paid into the system, got taxed on it once, get taxed on it again? It's our freaking money.
I know. It's just being returned to us, literally.
Right. And then they tax it again. So it's been taxed 18 ways to Sunday. They've taxed it and taxed it and taxed it again. They just keep bending you over. And that I'm not going to get it anyway. But I mean, like the people who are getting it right now, it pains me when I see that. what the hell? Why are we
I know.
accepting that as a country? Why do people accept that? And it's just, they're like, oh, I mean, that's fine. The government can tax it twice. What?
We mentioned yesterday and have been mentioning for literal months how dumb it is that Trump allows Laura Loomer to be in his inner circle.
Mhm.
And as we could have predicted, now that story has become mainstream. And as I would, if I were on the left, I would be using it like crazy because she is a huge liability for him. I don't know why he doesn't realize it. And now it has become mainstream. It is being talked about on every single network. Here is a small example, starting with MSNBC.
And it is extraordinary. Laura Loomer is not just a bigot. She is a freak. She is at the far edges of the fever swamp, as Ed just mentioned. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, describes her as racist and offensive. And yet Donald Trump is associating with her. These are the kinds of people who have his ear right now. So at this moment of the campaign, I mean, think about this. We're less than 2 months away from the election. Donald Trump is associating with some of the craziest, weirdest figures on the right.
So that was one example.
Why?
And then-
Why is he doing this?
I don't know. It doesn't do him any good at all. There's nothing positive that comes from it.
And she, what is her purpose? This is what my question is. Like, what purpose is she serving with him right now, other than to create this garbage?
Well, and the fear is, and what they're talking about on some of these other shows too, is that, when she's in his ear, when she's riding on the same plane as he is to his debate, that she's actually advising him. Some of the times when he tweets things, he's using actual words that she has said or memes that she has posted. Like, he's clearly influenced by her, which is freaking insane. And when it reaches, like, even, Hakeem Jeffries is talking about it, things are bad. And so he was referencing how she accompanied him the same day as 9/11.
That on September 11th, this sacred day, he would bring a 9/11 conspiracy theorist to participate in events during this solemn commemoration should shock the conscience of all decent Americans, and I believe that it does just that.
Scott asked what she said.
Oh my God, what hasn't she said?
Well, she put a tweet out about Indians, about Indian Americans.
You're about to hear the quote from, because this came up in KJP's presser. This is just the latest thing that she has said. She also accused Ron DeSantis' wife of not really having cancer.
Right.
I mean, she is a freaking lunatic. And that the list goes on. Like, she's got quite a history. Here it is being brought up in KJP's presser.
A woman named Laura Loomer, who recently tweeted that if the vice president wins the election, the White House will smell like curry, and White House speeches will be facilitated via a call center, among other things. She recently traveled with the former president, and I wonder if President Biden has read these remarks and his response.
Let me tell you our response from here. It is repugnant, these types of comments. It is un-American to say these types of things, exactly the kind of hateful and divisive rhetoric that we should denounce, and we should not be part of the fabric of this country. It doesn't matter what your political views are. You should stand and condemn these types of just repugnant words. No leader should ever associate.
No hope. I'm not jealous of her. In fact, I find it to be vile. And the fact that you would stand up for her, I find that to be vile too. So no.
Wait a minute. Are people actually suggesting
Yeah, she
that?
said jealous much?
Oh
no.
my God, have you seen her face?
It's like there's Bondo in it. I'm not jealous.
Oh
No.
my God. Wow. Okay, that's a good one.
No.
Now, it should come as no surprise that the left is eating this up, right? This is
Of
like
course.
absolute
But this is my
blood in the
point.
water.
Why would you put yourself in a position where we're so close to the election? Why? Why are we doing this? Just stop. It's like remember Omarosa? Remember
Yes.
like all the drama. It's like, we don't need the drama. Why do we have to have drama? Like, it's like, and there's no reason for it. If she were somebody who was providing some sort of, I don't know, and I don't even know what service she's providing at this point. She's not. Just bye, say you're fired. Bye. I mean, she's not even on the payroll, I don't think. Just go.
God, I hope not. That would be horrible.
Just go.
And it's not just, it's predictable that the left would eat this up and treat it like the blood in the water that it is. But there's also people on the right, like us, and like this former RNC spokeswoman, who also recognize this is bad for him.
Completely inexcusable that she's on that plane. It's inexcusable that she's anywhere near the president. It's a failure, I think, at the top with leadership around him. I think people should be fired over it. I'm talking to a lot of Republicans who are saying that there may be a pre-existing.
What about Donald Trump? He is the person.
No, I think it's wrong from top to bottom, but especially the people around him who are allowing this to happen. I hear some of them encouraging it. I hear there's pre-existing relationship between Loomer and potentially Chris LaCivita and Jason Miller. And all that it's doing is hurting the president's campaign on top of everything. The people out there who are suffering in this country that need relief economically, that we want to see, the president get across the finish line, may not have that opportunity because we're distracted and talking about Looney Tunes like this that continue to surround themselves around the campaign.
John
think
looks like he wants to say something.
Of course, Claire McCaskill is like, I think she's the perfect advisor for Trump. I hope he keeps her very close to him between now and the election. They belong together. And this is what we're going to have to deal with because he wants to have this friendship with her for reasons I cannot fathom.
You know who he should have as his advisor? He should have his sons, people like that. People who genuinely love him and are, and are good at this. Honestly,
I don't know what their relationship is with her, though. Honestly, I genuinely don't know.
No, I'm saying that I'm saying Donald Trump Jr. is he loves his dad, and Eric does too, for all intents and purposes. But Donald Trump Jr. is actually politically active, more so, I think, than Eric.
Yeah,
and I think he'd be a good advisor. He understands the pulse of people in this movement. He gets us. I think so much more than I just think he would be a good person to be with him and saying, hey, Dad, maybe do this and don't do this. Or, hey, this is a good thing. Or I'm seeing this on social, maybe you should tap into this. He would be really good at that.
That's happening. I mean, I can't imagine that it's not.
I don't know. I don't know. Because when I see stuff like this, I'm like, who's advising him? Because Donald Trump Jr. he's tempered. I mean, he just has he gets it, he's kind of the meme king sometimes too, but he understands, I think, the regular everyday American, even though he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he kind of gets it. So I don't know why he has to align himself with people like this. I don't either. Doesn't make sense to me.
The worry, of course, is that when people who are on the fence or independents or moderates or whatever, who are already like, okay, I don't really like Trump's behavior, but I like the policies. I remember what life was like the first 2 years of his presidency. I want that back. The people that have gotten themselves in a position to vote for him are literally could be changing their minds over this. And if you don't believe me, take it from one of them right out of the horse's mouth. And it's an important one. Batya Ungar-Sargon.
Because the Democrats have read the room, right? And not the online room, right? And meanwhile, the messaging to Trump is coming from inside the plane. I was asked recently on a conservative show, so you're voting for Trump? And I said, no, I'm an undecided voter. I am not going to vote for somebody whose closest advisor is tweeting that the White House is going to smell like curry. And I am not going to vote for somebody whose vice president cannot disavow a Holocaust minimizer / denier. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. And I'm one of the people who I feel I could have done a better job representing Trump at that debate than Trump did. I mean, I am such a fan of his policy, but you cannot travel on a plane with a person who says the White House is going to smell like curry. I'm sorry. That is a total red line. And you know why I'm so angry? Because his platform is a consensus platform. His agenda is a unity agenda. He's running with Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., and then he's sitting on a plane with a racist. It's so unacceptable and disappointing. It is a betrayal. It is a betrayal of his agenda and the working class Americans who rely on him to improve the lives of their children.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, she has some points there. She has some points. You got like the greatness of, you got some great people that are aligning with him. And then what does she bring to the table? Stop. What are you doing?
She does nothing but bad things for him. Nothing but bad things.
Yeah, just
now, all that said, Kurt Schlichter responded to Batya. There was a very, very interesting conversation about this that took place on Twitter. And he said to her, Laura Loomer is a freaking idiot, but she is also not his closest advisor. She's just a weirdo. If the existence of that miserable creature will prevent you from voting for Trump, you are not serious about defeating the forces of evil.
I agree with that too.
And I thought that is a really, really good point. Someone responded to him saying, do you really not see the issue with her? Would you be saying the same thing if Alex Jones was flying with Trump all the time? She is way bigger and more influential than you're giving her credit for. And Kurt responded, oh, I think she's an idiot. I've fought with her in the past, but I think it's silly to have her anywhere near Trump. But the fact that this idiot is hanging around is not a reason not to vote for Trump. It's immaterial. I'm not about to allow communists to take over because the only candidate who can stop the communists has aesthetically displeasing nitwits in the vicinity, which is also a great point. But then people were like, it's not that she's in the vicinity. It's that he is personally inviting her into his inner circle.
Yeah. And the bottom line is he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to at all.
It's unnecessary. So why is he doing it?
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a break to quickly thank some folks. We've got over on Locals, Connie MJ said, waking up in beautiful North Carolina this morning, Mock. Our youngest is interviewing for PA school, so we're getting to see your soon-to-be home state. That's awesome.
It's coming up quick, you guys. She's starting to freak out.
Lori Weens, thank you. Lori says today is Friday the 13th. Do you realize July, August, September, October, November spells Jason? Join. Obviously, that was not planned. Because we did not know that Lori was going to say that.
No.
She says, take my money. Dana McDuff says, wearing red also means remember everyone deployed.
I did not know that. I love that. I didn't know that. That's lovely.
Even more of a reason.
That's lovely. It is.
Alexander says the cats here in Croatia may roam around range free here, but nobody here is insane enough to eat them in this cat meowtrix. Just saying, take my money.
My gosh.
Jose Rodriguez says today my wife and I celebrate 32 years of marriage. Yes, where we were teenage sweethearts. Super blessed to say the least. Morning from Texas, y'all.
Happy anniversary. You're gonna go get some barbecue.
Laura Kate Baker says, if January 6, 2025 is a national security event, does that mean the Dems have to certify the election? We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen on January 6th.
I just don't even understand what that means. A national security event. It just is that's an obscure term to me. I don't get it. But
I don't really get it either. Husker Girl, thank you. She says, my first grandbaby was born yesterday. She's perfect. Her name is Daisy Lane. One proud Bobby. Love you, girls.
I love that name.
Daisy Lane.
Oh my gosh.
So precious. Teresa Raimundo says, Mock and Daisy, the government cares very deeply for your children. It's evident when they are removing and changing their body parts with your affirming tax dollars. That's a good point. Kim Donaldson says, my late husband went to school with David Muir at Ithaca College. David was a massive dork with big glasses and messy hair and an overinflated ego.
Such good intel.
I know. I love it. Teresa says, I don't practice Santeria, but when I do it in Springfield, Ohio. I don't know what that is.
Santeria, is that voodoo? I don't know.
It must be like some sort of witchcraft.
Is it?
Lisa says, DJT spoke in Arizona about the influx of Haitians who were dumped into my hometown of Charleroi, Pennsylvania. We are just about to cover that. I am so glad that my mom passed away in 2015. This destruction of her wonderful little town would have killed her. Oh my gosh.
It's terrible.
Yeah, we have a news story about your city coming up in just a second. Denise says, massaged a woman last week preparing for deployment to DC for inauguration. She is part of the criminal division of Army Reserves. She predicts either result will be a bad scene. So
yeah,
pray.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah. Brian Brumley says, in my experience, people who are so far out to one side eventually swing to the other extreme. So don't be surprised if Looney Tunes Loomer eventually comes out as a commie lib. Oh my God.
I mean,
that would be a trip.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It really wouldn't, because she's crazy. Rachel Gerhardt says 9/11 was an inside job. Watch Loose Change for info. No, thank you. Florida Medicare broker, thank you for the super sticker. Kim Donaldson says maybe they should talk about Joe Biden's association with Robert Byrd and the KKK.
They'll never do that.
No, they will not.
They'll never.
Shannon Pope says Laura Loomer is a jester in the King's Court. Exactly right. Catherine says happy early first birthday to baby Henry on Sunday. Love you,
Thank
your
you.
flower pen girl.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. I appreciate that.
Flower
He's going to be 1. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
Baby Henry.
That's
He's going to be with us next week. I may be able to like show him to you guys.
Yeah,
maybe.
I told her there needs to be like some Henry flaps.
Yes.
On one day.
He may not
think
flap
they
like
should.
maybe. Cause I think he's going to be here like until next Wednesday, but we have him just by ourselves Tuesday night. So we may be able to finagle that.
Yeah, there needs to be a showing. There needs to be a display of the child.
A baby
Like
showing.
Lion King.
Lion King.
Play.
Here's child. Yes.
That's right. All right, let's get to Charleroi because if you think that this Haitian problem is limited to Springfield, Ohio, you are mistaken, and it's costing us all a big fat bunch of money.
And often endured dangerous, traumatic journeys to reach the U.S., who now attend Charleroi Elementary School. In addition to language barriers, there is a lack of familiarity with American culture, American education, and American ideals.
Some of these kids have not been in school at all. Even though they had schooling offered to them, they didn't always participate.
The immigrant population here in Charleroi has grown by more than 2,000% in the last 2 years. The majority of the English language learners, or ELLs, in the district are from Haiti. Most left the country with their families, who were then able to find work at one of the manufacturing plants here in Charleroi. The district has already had to hire more ELL teachers, an ELL coach for the teachers, and an interpreter that cost over $400,000.
Oh my God.
And with the growth expected to continue, the district projects spending another $300,000 next school year. We're told increasing taxes isn't an option, so the district is looking to the state.
Of course, they're looking to the state. And that slows down other kids' learning too.
Oh my gosh, like crazy.
Right. That people just don't realize, like from a classroom perspective, when you're looking at these kids that come in, they can't speak English. People are going to get pissed when I say this, but it dumbs everybody down.
Absolutely. It does.
It pulls. Yeah. And that's not okay. It's just
because
not.
these are people that you're paying tax dollars for public school education for your child. You should not have to be covering the education of people who came here for reasons that are totally on the backs of Biden and Kamala.
Right.
It is all on them.
Well, and it's like when they're learning math, they have a language barrier. So your kid who's just wanting to learn math is having to sit there and deal with the language barrier of this other kid. And that pulls everybody down. And from just the educational ramifications of this are so far reaching and destructive. And they want to be benevolent. They want to say, oh, this is so great. Like liberals are always the first ones to say, this is the greatest thing. We're being so great. Our hearts are in the right place. Bullshit. Yeah. You're not protecting American kids. What are you doing? And then if you look 10 years off, you're going to see that our educational, like what's happening in education is we're just going to keep dropping and dropping and dropping in comparison to all other countries.
And I guarantee you, they're not going to fix the problem. They're just going to lower the standards.
Totally.
And then we're really fucked.
We get dumber.
And then
we get dumber.
We rely on kids to grow up and be smarter than us, right?
Yeah.
And take care of us, take care of the country that they were left.
And be doctors and work on you when you need heart surgery. What are you going to do?
And fly planes and do all the things that we rely on each other to do. And It's just bad for everybody. It's bad
So bad.
for everybody. And then frickin' John Legend,
Oh my God, this
because
guy.
he's from Springfield, Ohio, decided to put out this 5-minute diatribe on how everybody just needs to suck it up, essentially. Here is just a little bit of his ridiculousness.
About 15,000 or so immigrants move to my town of 60,000. Now, you might say, wow, that's a lot of people for a town that only had 60,000 before. That's a 25% increase. That is correct. So you might imagine there are some challenges with, integrating a new population, new language, new culture, new dietary preferences,
Meow.
all kinds of reasons why there might be growing pains. So I think all of us need to have the same kind of grace that we would want our ancestors to have when they moved here, with our Haitian brothers and sisters who move here too.
Really?
And nobody's eating cats. Nobody's eating dogs.
Really?
We all just want to live and flourish and raise our families in a healthy and safe environment. How about we love one another? Hello,
Yeah. As he sits in his California mansion.
That's
and he says,
the thing.
And he said, with his manicure. Do you guys see his manicure?
And his lip filler.
His lip filler, his Bondo in his face. And he's just in his robe with it's all open. Look at this with my non-hairy chest. The guy, I can't with this guy. And he says we the whole time. Like somehow he is a part of the Springfield community still. You're not. You elitist jerk. You're not. You live in California. You have nothing to do with that town. And those people who are giving like firsthand accounts of what's happening, I hope that they speak out against him.
Oh, they are. He's getting a ton of backlash.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because what a jerk for him to get on camera and speak for those people who don't live in California mansions and don't live his elitist life. What a prick that guy is.
I know. And it makes it even worse when because him and his ridiculous round face wife, Chrissy Teigen. They did one of those like welcome to our home shows. I have just a little bit. They look like they have plenty of room to take on a few of these Haitian migrants that they're so interested in helping care for. Look at this. Just ridiculously.
Hello, Haiti.
I'm John Legend.
I'm Chrissy Teigen.
Welcome to our home.
Welcome.
God, I loathe them. Yeah, they could put like 20 in that one media room.
Our designer's name is Jake Arnold.
We love him.
God.
Sometimes people who are really creative and good at the creative stuff aren't good at the business side of things, but I feel like Jake is the... Hi, Pearl.
Wasn't she canceled? Didn't we cancel her?
This is my baby Pearl.
She likes to cuddle with Mama on the couch.
Insane, but she loves to cuddle. This is my Instagram story room. Everyone's always like, you never leave this couch.
We live here. This is the living room. And some people, their living room is more like a showpiece, and they spend all the time in the den or the family room. But we're actually in the living room quite a lot. We sit here and watch reality TV.
There's a lot of room there.
There's a whole lot of room in there, you guys.
And since the kitchen and the living room are so close, I think that's why we spend so much time here, because we're always cooking.
Yeah, they could fit a whole lot of Haitians in there. So they probably should get on that. And yes, I do believe that she told some teenage girl to unalive herself.
Yeah, she's awful.
I don't know why isn't she canceled? Because remember, that was what they were really into. People tried to, but I guess Democrats are above that, right? God, they're insufferable.
Disgusting couple. Disgusting.
So
couple.
Gross.
Yes, or on 9/11, when Biden and Kamala and also Trump visited a firehouse, a first responder firehouse, I believe in Pennsylvania, they came slightly at different times, but the reception that they received, very, very different from one another. So first, here's what it looked like when Kamala and Joe entered the firehouse.
Very quiet. Look at that one chick. She turns her back. She's like, and I'm going to turn around and just keep doing what I'm doing. Here. I really don't care. I just don't care.
And then here is what happened when Trump showed up.
There he
Yeah, stark difference.
Very, 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 very different.
Yeah. This is the thing. He's the president of the people. He's president of regular people. I mean, listen, Biden and Kamala may have the elitists like John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, but President Trump has regular people, and it shows. You can't suppress it. You can't deny it. They can try to like gaslight and tell you something that is not true all the time on their stupid little network TV shows, but we know what's true. He resonates with regular people. He connects with them.
And they love him. You cannot deny the love. There was this funny clip for you guys remember Jim Carrey. I think this is from that. I can't even remember which movie this is from, but somebody made a meme out of it, and it was just, it's very, very quick, but so funny, especially at the end. Watch this. It's coming, I promise.
Oh, that's it. I've had it with this dump. We've got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
That's so true. So freaking true.
And then you guys, Tim Walz did a rally in Michigan yesterday, and we were dying over this morning before we went live on the air because I don't know how this happened. It was very spontaneous, which is what makes it so funny. But he was basically asking who's got this on their bingo card that like people are eating cats, and how it happened, I don't know. But the entire audience spontaneously bust into a chant that they're not eating cats.
You guys, you know how they always scream, "We're not going back. We're not going back." So now they're screaming, "We're not eating cats. We're not eating cats." These people,
the greatest thing.
You can't make it up. You can't.
Enjoy.
Oh my God.
And you tell me you had this on your bingo card, and they're eating cats, and they're eating cats. What can you say?
Democrats, everybody. The Democrat Party, everybody. This is where we are, 2024. We're not eating cats. That should be their slogan. They should be like Harris Walz 2024. We're not eating cats. That's their slogan now. Put it on a bumper sticker.
Oh my God.
I can't. Oh my God.
Love that so much.
It's the greatest thing ever. This is our world. This is what it's come to.
There is a continuing investigation about Trump's assassination attempt. I know that's hard to believe because nobody's ever talking about it anymore, but it is happening. And yesterday apparently was a bit of a breakthrough day in that investigation. And the lizard man, that Senator Blumenthal guy who creeps me out, like his very existence.
It's
creeps
as
me
if
out.
he's like the guy at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark where his skin is melting. You remember when they looked at the ark?
Also, he's like the zombie that chomped in.
It's like a
combination.
He's a combination of the two. It's as if one of the zombies is melting in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
you guys are welcome. You're welcome for that visual.
Freaks me out so bad.
Freaky.
But he listened to testimony yesterday that got him pretty upset. And I was like, wow, look at that. A Democrat is actually caring that things went wrong, very, very, very wrong that day. Here he is.
I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished, and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service in this assassination attempt on the former president. But I think they also ought to be appalled and astonished by the failure of the Department of Homeland Security to be more forthcoming, to be as candid and frank as it should be to them in terms of providing information. And we are going to absolutely insist on the truth and the whole truth in documents and testimony as members of the United States Senate, but also as citizens.
What did you learn new today when you said they're going to be appalled? What
I'm not going to go into what we have learned in specifics. I'm giving you my reaction, and we will have a report very, very soon that I think will absolutely shock the American people, or it should, about the lapses and lags in the protection that was afforded that day and the breakdown in communication, failure in responsibility.
Is that report coming today or tomorrow?
It's like 2 months down the road.
Coming out tonight or tomorrow?
No.
Some new.
Seriously, it's been 2 months, you guys. It's
Yeah.
been 2 months since it's happened. Give us the damn report already. Let us see it. We pay for you people. And I guarantee you that the people who were involved, who effed it up, are still getting paid and still getting pensions. And we're doing that. You guys get back to work so you can pay for these inept people that are doing that. I mean, I appreciate it. That's really nice. It's nice that he like uncovered some stuff. I do appreciate that because
I mean, go investigation. Yay.
that's yay. but it's like, come on, like get on with it already.
Right.
If it were a Democrat presidential candidate, this would have been handled in a week.
Well, Josh Hawley did give a little bit more information than Blumenthal did. He was on with Jesse Waters last night, and here is what he uncovered.
Blower reporting. What are they telling you now, Senator?
Jesse, what I'm learning now is that the lead advance agent that day in Pennsylvania, this is the agent that was in charge of Trump's entire trip in Pennsylvania, that this agent actually failed one or more of her training exams when she first joined the Secret Service. I mean, the pattern that is emerging here, Jesse, from whistleblowers who've come forward to me now over and over again, is that the Trump rally was undermanned, it was understaffed, they did not have people who had experience on it, and now this advance agent, I'm told, may have failed one or more of her training exams and was known not to be a top quality agent. I mean, this is absurd, and the fact that the director will not level with the American people about what's going on here is just totally unacceptable and unbelievable. I'm told by people who are close to and have knowledge of the Secret Service's own internal investigation that the Department of Homeland Security is leaning on the Secret Service not to comply with document requests to Congress. I mean, this is really getting to be outrageous. The American people need the truth here.
Yeah, there's a cover-up going on. Now that's definitive.
Mm-hmm. Who's surprised? Raise your hand. So nobody's surprised. No, a cover-up? You didn't say. I mean,
in our U.S. government?
Oh my goodness. So Greg and I, my husband and I were watching, last night we stayed up way too late and we're watching the movie Parkland. I don't know if you've ever seen Parkland. It's an old, it's like a 10-year-old movie about the JFK assassination. Zac Efron's in it. It's before he started putting Bondo in his face.
Oh, okay.
And he looked so cute in that movie. He played like one of the doctors. It's basically about the hospital that it centers around the hospital that handled all of the people coming in,
Okay.
you know, that were obviously, you know, going through the trauma and JFK and everybody. So, but what I noticed, and that was so significant to me about that movie and the subject was, I was like, there are no women Secret Service agents. There are no, they took their job, not that there shouldn't be, but I feel like the standards have been lowered so significantly because of this DEI bullcrap that we have now. And then in addition to that, those guys took their jobs so serious. I mean, it was like they just were so devastated by what happened, obviously. Yeah. And I would hope that the people would be completely devastated. You know, the people in Secret Service would be so devastated by what happened 2 months ago to President Trump. You know, because it was this close. And if I were one of those guys, I would be like wondering, am I in the right job? Am I doing the right thing? What am I doing? Because that was not okay. What happened that day?
Nope. Not okay at all. But I mean, we're going to be learning more about that, obviously, once this report comes out. I feel like we're doing like a daily Megyn Kelly, since both of us are kind of in love with her.
Yeah. Girl crushing on her.
Totally crushing on her.
Right.
And so today's Megyn Kelly clip is about when the legacy media is finally going to like completely tank. And this is from the Sean Ryan podcast, and he asked her that question, and here is her answer.
What do you think the final nail in the coffin will be?
If Trump wins again.
That'll be the end.
Yes, because they'll do the same thing they did the first time. Everything will be negative. He will be the devil incarnate. They will find their oppositional, media roots again, which they totally forgot during the Biden years. Hello? We have a whole White House press corps that didn't figure out he was being visited regularly by a Parkinson's doctor. Do you think they'd miss that with Trump? My point is they had no interest in finding out anything bad about Joe Biden. So I do think they'll just drive more people away. But they're already dying. Their ratings right now in primetime, they're pulling in 500,000. I mean, I know you dwarf that in your numbers, and I certainly do as well. Now they get maybe 1/4 of what they used to get. They make no news. They're totally irrelevant. What was the last news Savannah Guthrie made?
I have no idea.
Of course you don't. What was the last news big interview Robin Roberts had? Who knows?
I don't ever watch it.
Who has more influence, Wolf Blitzer or Ben Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro.
It's just a new world. They're well on their way to the end.
God, I love that so much. And I love that she's right, because the legacy media needs to die.
Yep.
Just die already. Yeah. And I like that guy too. I really like his podcast. Yeah.
That episode is amazing because she gets super personal.
She does.
About marriage, about her dad's death, about so many things that just made her who she is.
Right.
Just a really, really great listen. If you haven't listened to the whole thing, do it. It's really, really good.
Fantastic interview.
Okay, we're gonna start in this last little montage before we get to Schlong. We're gonna start off with some not so great news, okay? But I promise you that we will finish it with much better news, okay? So you know how the show is. We like to give you all of it.
We're taking you down, a valley. We're going to bring you up on a mountaintop.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly
this is what we're doing.
Our show is an emotional roller coaster. What can we say?
Always. It's like, listen, we're women. This is what we do to you.
That's right. So I know that we've got people on our side of the aisle who are determined to not believe that there are people who support Kamala. But unfortunately, there are. We refer to those people as dumbasses affectionately on this program.
Hashtag dumbasses.
There are a lot, you guys, and it could potentially be growing, and we just need to be aware of it. Okay, I want to show you that she filled to the brim one of two. She had 2 North Carolina appearances, and both were completely full. This is what I believe the Charlotte one looked like. This was not AI. This is not video generated. This is her actual crowd.
In Charlotte. And I think it's because Taylor told him to be there.
Well, that is the perfect segue into the next clip, because as a matter of fact, as much as we would like to believe that Taylor has no influence on actual voters or registrations of voters, she really does.
What are you seeing from Taylor Swift in her endorsement, especially in terms of driving civic participation?
Yeah, so I think this is a question a lot of us had after we saw the endorsement. I think a lot of people expected it was coming, but the question of how much of an impact will she have beyond just the excitement, the likes on Instagram, will it translate into voter registration? So we can see some of the back end data in terms of the data that is coming and hitting off the voter file that we build. And what we saw was this really massive increase. We're calling it the Swift effect now because it's really unlike anything I've seen. We're seeing a 400 or 500% increase in people coming and trying to register to vote immediately following the debate and in that period after Taylor Swift posted on Instagram. And what's really remarkable about that is usually you'll see these increases and they kind of fade away. In this case, we've seen it continue through the last 2 days into today.
How so?
Well, I'm told, I have 2 teenage daughters, that she was on the Video Music Awards on MTV last night. Apparently, she put out another pitch for people to register to vote. And so we're seeing this continued spike of 4 or 5 times what you would regularly see. So we're talking about somewhere in the neighborhood 9,000 to 10,000 people per hour just hitting our system. That's not indicative of everything, but it's a lot of it.
And what does this mean for the election?
Well, a big part of this, the big question I think a lot of people ask is when you see new registrants, sure, they're registering to vote, will they vote? Well, we actually have statistics going back to 2020. We can see people who registered to vote this close to the election. Over 80% of those new registrants actually turned out in the election. So it's safe to say that not only are these voters who are registering are a big deal, but it's likely that they're going to come out on Election Day or before Election Day in the early voting.
Okay, well, maybe, just maybe, when she says, hey, register to vote, and she says that, and, you know, there are a lot of the dumbasses that do register, maybe there are just as many young, impressionable girls, I say the impressionable ones, or young girls that, and boys, I guess, who are like, I don't like that she's doing that. I'm going to go ahead and register to vote because I am on the other side of the spectrum. So I'm going to register.
Oh my God, I hope so much.
I'm going to register too, because that would be my daughter and her friends. You know, if she could, if she was 18, she would be doing that. She'd be like, you know, listen, I liked your music, but I don't like you telling me who to vote for, because I'm my own person. I got my own mind and I'm smart and I'm going to vote the other way.
God, I wish more people felt that way. And this woman definitely feels that way. I loved her video.
Hey, real quick, if you're a celebrity, shut up.
Right.
If you're a celebrity, shut up. Shut up. Don't tell us what to do. Don't tell us. Don't talk to us like you know what it's like. Don't tell us that we should be voting for this person or talking about this. Stop talking. Stop talking. Because you have no idea.
Exactly.
You don't know. You don't know what it's like. There are people out there right now, and it shouldn't be political. Feeding your family should not be political. Having to choose between paying rent or groceries that week and rent is delayed, it should not be political. That should literally just be, you know, life. But as a celebrity, stop talking because you don't know and you sound stupid. And if you're somebody who follows a celebrity blindly and just does what they say because of who they are, also you shut up.
Right.
Sit down. Take several seats because I'm exhausted. And I'm pretty sure most of the world, not the world, most Americans are also exhausted. Love you so much. So
and if you're that person that is following her blindly and you're doing everything that she says, you're probably living with your parents. I mean, you're probably having everything provided for you.
Yeah, that's true.
You really are. Cause I got, you know, our middle kid, our son is married. They went to her concert. They like her music. They're not voting for Kamala. They're not doing that. They're not going to do that because she said that. They live on their own. They live in freaking California. They know they know what stuff costs. They're quite aware. They both have jobs. They can't even get a house out there and they both do well. So when she says vote for Kamala and Walz, they're like, I don't think so. Not going to happen. So there are people, if you're living on your own and you understand kind of like what that lady says, if you're in the real world, you're going to be like, that's nice. They're there, Taylor. But the rest of us live in the real world. You don't. You have a gajillion homes. You get to fly on private jets and scream about climate change. And you're dating an NFL player that looks like a douche in his bucket hat. You know, the rest of us don't live in that world.
Right.
And so she's right. Stop preaching to the people that actually do.
I feel like we could be friends with her.
With that chick? Yeah, totally. We could be friends with her.
Because the way that she says stuff is like, I like it.
Yeah, but it is kind of disconcerting that people like these young girls, they think I'm like her. You're not. It's just like you weren't like the Kardashians either.
Right.
It's a whole other level of it. It's just something that, listen, 99% of us are never going to attain.
Oh my God. Like she has no clue.
Right.
No clue.
And I don't want to live in that world. I don't. I really don't.
I just wish every celebrity would do what she said, which is just zip it. Or follow the lead of Patrick Mahomes, who I thought handled this question so beautifully.
Former President Trump referenced you and your family again today on Fox News in relation to his campaign. I just wonder what your reaction is to seeing that.
Yeah, I think I've always said I don't want my place and my platform to be used to endorse a candidate or do whatever. Either way, I think my place is to inform people to get registered to vote. It's to inform people to do their own research and then make their best decision for them and their family. And so I think that's every time I'm on this stage and I get asked these questions, I'm going to refer back to that because I think that's what makes America so great.
I think it was important, though. I don't know if important is the right word, but when you were at the U.S. Open this past weekend and you guys were there with Taylor and Travis. I mean, is that an important image to show that, you know, people who may have different philosophies can?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always, even dating back, I think if you've seen my history, I've grown up with people from every aspect of life, and every background. And I think the best thing about a football locker room and kind of how I've grown up in baseball locker rooms, everything about that is people can come together and achieve something and achieve a common goal. And I think if we can, I mean, we talked about it a while back, but I think if we can do that as a nation, I think we can get the best out of each other. And so I think that's something that I do every single day. And whenever I'm hanging out with whoever, I'm not thinking about their political views or anything like that. I'm thinking about the people and how they treat other people. And I was with a lot of great people this weekend.
Yeah, that he answered that like a conservative.
Perfect, right?
But don't you think he answered that like a conservative?
I mean, probably.
Yeah. I mean, come on, let's get real. That's what he did. I'm not saying, listen, you can think what you want to think, but like when I taught at the college level, my kids never knew who I voted for. They never knew because I just didn't put it, that it wasn't my place. My place was to teach. It wasn't to inject my political opinions or philosophies into the classroom. That's how I felt about it. So they never freaking knew. And that's how it should be. That's what conservatives do.
I love that.
Liberals don't do that. So,
I love that. And I loved his answer. And that's what that is how it should be handled. You know what I mean?
Totally. All class.
Yes, totally. Okay. I was going to play some bad news about election stuff, but we're running a little bit longer than I'd like on a Friday. So I'm going to save that and end with some really good news before we get to Schlong anyway. Just some good Trumpy stuff, right? So there was, I don't know, this is obviously long ago, but maybe it was the Oprah show or he was on some show where audience was able to ask him questions. And this woman had a question for him. And the way that he handled the question was just lovely.
Mr. Trump, you've done great things in your life. And I just wonder, how do I, as an average person, begin?
Well, first of all, never think of yourself as average. You started off with the wrong question. You have to tell yourself that you just have to get that word average out of your vocabulary, and you have to tell yourself that you're great, and you have to believe it. If you can say it and don't believe it, it doesn't matter. So just go out there and work hard.
I love that.
Love that.
I love that too. That's what wonderful advice.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. So
and
great.
I think he truly believes that about people. People you're not average. You're an awesome American.
Filled with potential.
Yeah. Everybody has potential. Everybody. He believes that. And that's why he's doing what he's doing.
Yes. And then there was there was this moment, I know you saw it too, where this was from the 9/11 names readout ceremony. And somebody was obviously filming him with their phone and Trump caught their eye. And just the little reaction that he had to that person was so cute.
I love this. Can you even? I love it. See the connection. He connects with people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just so funny. And then this is just hilarious. I thought you guys would think it was funny too, because when influencers are in the wild doing their influencing, obviously this gaggle of influencers in New York City, I don't know what they set their camera on, but they set their camera on something that is in the middle of the sidewalk. And then they're moving backwards to like get pose and to do all this video capturing of them. And a true New Yorker is not here for it.
You can't get in it. All right. You guys just all walk backwards while people are walking fucking forward.
That is so New York.
Right? I just love that. That guy was like,
God.
Stop walking backwards.
God, idiots. Influencers are idiots.
All right, it's time for our Schlong. And our Schlong today is it's about that gentle parenting phenomenon. Bill Maher actually did a little spiel about it. We're going to talk about his reaction, and then some other angles of that, of what's happening to our kids right now, because it's not good.
Hearing how parenting is so hard these days. Yeah, because you're making it hard. Gentle parenting. It's like a Taco Bell breakfast. The reason it feels wrong is because it is. And it's ruining lives on both sides of the equation. Parents, it's ruining your lives because you've made yourselves a butler to a 5-year-old. And the kids, because the results are in, and all this letting the kids run the show, path of least resistance child rearing, is harming them. The average high school kid today has the same level of anxiety as the average psychiatric patient in the early 1950s.
God.
Wow.
A recent survey of employers found that about 1 in 5 recent college graduates brought their parents with them to a job interview. Our kids are crippled with anxiety because they haven't been properly prepared for a world that doesn't revolve around them. Exactly. Almost 10% of college students claim to have PTSD. From college, the cradle of safetyism, the home of safe spaces and trigger warnings and policing offensive words. You're not supposed to get PTSD in college. You're supposed to get an STD.
I mean, this whole gentle parenting thing is taken off too. Like if you're on social media at all, you see it everywhere. And people are so in support of it. Like, oh, this is the right way to parent. You're supposed to do this and talk to your kid like this. And I'm like, oh my God. And maybe, there are times where I question myself because I'm such a Gen Xer that I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just
it doesn't matter that you're bleeding. Get up.
Right. It's like, is there a bone sticking out? You're fine.
Right, you're fine.
My God, just put some dirt on it. That's how we've raised our kids. And that's how we raise Gwen. And she's, 14. And I just, we try to make sure that they're all very independent because one day they have to go out into this nasty, big world and they got a deal. Mm-hmm. You cannot coddle them. You just can't. And I think a lot of these parents are doing that. It's like the butler thing was a very interesting point that he made where these people are waiting on their kids hand and foot. You got to make them be independent. You have to.
Well, and we're doing a disservice, not just from the gentle parenting, but kids are struggling, as he said, just as much as psych patients from the 1900s or whenever that was. I mean, ridiculous how much worse their mental health is the more we focus on it. Mm-hmm. And that was what was so remarkable to me. There was this chart about depressive symptoms in U.S. 8th, 10th, and 12th graders just over the past few decades. I mean, look at the shift. Look at how much it's gotten worse since 2015.
Right.
And it's just jumped exponentially. And so Abigail Schreier talked about therapy because now, of course, parents are either putting their kids on antidepressants, which is also a whole other terrifying thing because kids can get legit crazy from those.
Right.
But there's also this notion of, putting kids in therapy and going to therapy even as adults to the point where it's routine. People do this thinking that it's good for them, but it's a racket in many ways. Not saying that all therapy is bad. I'm certainly not saying that. And therapy is super necessary for some people, but the people that are using it as a way, like they're holding it up as an example of how to be healthy mentally, that everybody should be in therapy. That is bullshit. And it's damaging. And Abigail Schreier was on with Joe Rogan to talk about that. Really, really interesting little segment from that interview.
I never really considered that until your book. Until I heard the title of your book and I read the synopsis of it. I never really considered it. I never considered that thinking about your problems all the time and talking about your problems all the time literally make the problems grow.
That's right. I mean, it's the number one symptom of depression is what they call rumination, this pathological obsessing over your pain.
Yeah.
That's why stuff like exercise, that's one of the reasons, aside from chemical reasons, one of the reasons that doing anything, that running errands is good for your mental health, getting out of your house and accomplishing anything is good for you. But sitting around talking and thinking about your problems, that's a bad habit. And the best cognitive behavioral therapists and others, the dialectical behavioral therapists, the ones who do really well with depression, the first thing they do is try to break that bad pattern. But a lot of therapists just indulge it.
That's the problem.
I know this sounds so mean, but why is this not common sense?
I don't know. I
feel like a lot of this is just common sense. Like, if you feel sorry for yourself all the time, you're going to continue to feel sorry for yourself.
Right.
A lot of our problems are here. You know what I mean? And not
and the ruminating.
actually
She's
here.
exactly right about
Right.
the ruminating and the
And listen,
wallowing.
and I'm not saying that like our generation and you know, like boomers and Gen Xers, a lot of us probably had a problem with therapy and a lot of us had some issues and we probably need to deal with them. That's fine. And I'm not saying that that therapy, like you said, is not a good thing. Therapy is a good thing. But this generation is like over therapyized.
Totally.
They overdo it. It's like millennials and Gen Zers. It's just they've overcompensated. I think it's
well,
just
we're consuming they're consuming therapy like coffee.
Right.
They're thinking this is just a part of my daily mental health
right. And
thing, and it's not.
And they want to give themselves a label for everything. I have this, and I have this, and I have this. I have this disorder and that disorder, and I have this kind of depression and that, and I have to be on this drug and that drug. And that and what it does is it labels themselves as less than or something, or victims. It victimizes themselves, or it makes them part of like this club where we can all get together and like have a self-pity party. And it's like, what the hell is that? It's like, I don't.
Well, and it excuses a lot of their behavior. Well,
right.
Did I say something about that's because I'm this? I mean, it's all such this weird cycle of suck that we're in right now. It is a racket in some ways. Because I do think that there are people, like she said, there are therapists who indulge this because they want the repeat business. They're going to tell their clients, you should absolutely have weekly sessions with me. Why wouldn't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And she made a great point when it's like, well, maybe you just need to go outside and go for a run once a day and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's kids need structure. There are certain things that kids need. But I mean, and teenagers, they have angst. They go through periods of time where they're not going to be, you know, these perfect little angels. Let them go through it. We all go through it. You know, this is the thing. I think it's somebody said, Deanne, I love your comment, touch grass. Yeah,
exactly.
This is the thing. I mean, they're just certain, let them be kids, let them be teenagers, you know, we don't have to label everything. It can just be, you know, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. It is time for your DD.
I love this, you guys. So this child, and we're kind of on a Trump kick today, and I love it. But this child, I don't remember what it is that he has, Mom.
Yeah, so I'll show that first. This is the little caption about it.
He has, it's a rare brain disorder and growth. That's what it was. I thought it was neurological. It's a growth hormone deficiency. He got a very special 8th birthday letter from a very special person. And this is the kind of stuff you don't see, you guys. And I saw it yesterday and I'm like, I got to share this with everybody. It just was so sweet.
So precious.
Carefully. Can you read it out loud? Yeah. Sure.
God bless him.
Dear Liam, happy 8th birthday. Mrs. Trump and I hope you enjoy this special occasion surrounded by the love of your family and friends. We are so encouraged by the strength and determination you have shown throughout your young life and send our love and best wishes to you as you continue to fight. Remember, you are never alone, and we are keeping you in our thoughts and prayers for continued care and good health. May God bless you and your family. Stay strong. Sincerely. Can you tell me who signed that? You knew it was your birthday coming up? What do you say to him? Thank you.
I
love you. What else do you say? Thank you.
God bless him. Is that not the sweetest thing ever? I was just like a puddle of tears yesterday when I saw that. Like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh my God. So precious.
Right?
So precious.
His shirt. Did you see his shirt?
Yes. So dear. God, what a precious little angel.
So cute.
All right, it's time for a few My Pillow talks. And once again, in my algorithm, I have cats. So these are cats that have brain freeze from eating cold things, or they get, you know how cats, like with cream cheese, yogurt, ice cream, some of them get the real strong gag reflex, and it's so funny. So this is a little montage of cats having some issues.
Okay. What? Why do they do this? What? What are they doing? Oh my God. That will be the first thing I do is feed my cat yogurt. First thing.
It's pistachio ice cream.
Oh.
Wait, this tastes like some medicine.
Now this is really cool. Listen to those purring sounds.
Okay, he likes it. He's like, the orange cats, they like it.
Right? He likes it.
You know, Mock worked really hard for this algorithm, you guys. Don't knock it. She built it. Built that algorithm.
This is cats and dogs living together, and it is not anarchy. It is beautiful. Look at this precious, adorable little couple.
She's like, I'm gonna go on over here. I'm gonna
You
scooch
look
in.
warm to me.
Oh God, I'm gonna scooch on in there. Can I get?
Wake
I'm gonna
up.
get. Hey, let
'Cause
me
I
in
need to
here.
be-
I'm gonna spoon you. Oh God.
Look at how it tucks itself in there.
That's such a perfect relationship right there. Ladies, find you a man where you fit just like that. You fit.
Yes. I
That's
call it the nooch.
The
I have one on
nooch.
Ron. It's right here.
Right near the
Ron is-
collarbone.
yeah, like right
right
I can
there.
tuck right there. And I always say I
Mhm.
want to fit into the nooch.
I need to get in the nooch.
Yeah.
That is the sweetest.
So the other problem with my algorithm is that because of Spencer,
oh my God, I'm getting this too.
I'm getting constant Indian jokes.
All the Indian humor. We're getting Indian humor, you guys, because
this one was made for me. And as soon
Okay.
as you hear it, you will understand why it's the greatest joke of all time. The greatest.
Annoyed chicken say. Fuck off!
Oh my God, that's so great. Seriously, I don't know. Like I'm getting it too. How do they know?
God. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't.
But that I love.
We blame
I
you,
mean, that one I was
Spencer.
so happy.
We blame Spencer, our digital dude. We got to have Spencer on. He's got to
we do.
Spencer, you need to craft a response to what we just talked about today, and then we'll play it for our audience.
Yes,
this
but
is
make it a video response.
yeah, because
Not
I mean,
just
we have crafted our we've built our algorithms brick by brick, and this is what it's become: cats and Indian humor. We blame you, Spencer.
Totally blame him. Okay, we got some thank yous to dole
we
out.
do? Okay.
BTK says cats for Trump 2024.
Yes.
Teresa says Santeria equals Santeria or a song by Sublime. Okay. Tracy Boughton, thank you very much. Michelle Boyd says, good morning, chicks. For the record, I do not eat cats. TGIF.
Good to know. Good to know.
Brian Brumley says Democrats in 1961 ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Democrats in 2024, we're not eating cats.
So true.
Tracy says, just call me Tracy B because you never get my name right. I'm sorry. I have a lot of names to remember. I'm sorry.
It can be tough.
You will never unsee it, but Senator Blumenthal is Gollum, the face, the voice. Every time I see him, that's what I think. Yeah. Yeah.
I will never unsee it.
Yeah. How do you say it? Is it Tracy Booten? Is it Boughton? Boughton?
Just say Tracy. Just say Tracy.
Tracy B. Andrew Huff says the advance lead in Butler was the woman that couldn't holster her weapon. Clint Hill was on Jackie Kennedy's protection team. That is why he was the only person that reacted and jumped on the car. Wow. Shannon Pope says, just an FYI, Zac Efron had to have reconstructive surgery because he fell and shattered his jaw. Also, Charlotte, North Carolina is full of liberals. Oh my God, he fell and shattered his jaw?
Yeah, but Mock and I watched that movie that he and Nicole Kidman were in, and it was like watching plastic people on a screen. I couldn't.
That wasn't his jaw surgery.
You guys, it's just they have so much stuff pumped into their faces. It's like they're not human anymore.
Oh my God!
Gross.
And do not waste your time if you're thinking about starting the Perfect Couple series on Netflix with Nicole Kidman.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, you guys. Don't do it. Let's see. Peggy Sensale says, if parenting isn't hard, you're doing it wrong. Duchelius says, I have PTFO from the left. PTFO.
Post-traumatic FO. Okay.
Post-traumatic. Yeah, I don't exactly know what that stands for. Alexandra says, therapy started working for me when I stopped going. It turned out being poor was the root of all my problems. Oh, well, at least I learned. That's super interesting. Ashley Alves says, somehow just found you about a month ago and turned my mom onto you. We're both now totally addicted and listen every morning late because we're in batshit California and talk about the show together afterwards. Love you, chicks. I love
that. That's fantastic.
Love that. And then Laura Myers yesterday on Venmo said, just because I friended you, I have 24 friends that I had no idea about. Love you both. Have an amazing day. Because yesterday I was asking, what is the point of Venmo friends? And I didn't understand that. And I unfriended everybody. So again, do not be offended. Like, it's not a personal thing. I just don't want friends on Venmo because I don't see the point. I just don't want to know what everybody else is sending them. Sending each other. I don't want to know. It's just weird.
She doesn't care that you sent $50 to your lawn service. You know what I mean?
I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. So I unfriended everybody. And so Laura, you tried to friend me and I didn't accept it. So I want 0 friends on Venmo. And so that's the way that we're set up now. And it is not a personal slam at all. So again, I just don't want anybody to be offended by that. Shelly Bolton said, hey chicks, guess what? Shit to say. Regarding making January 6th a national security event, how about making November 5th and all of everything around voting and vote counting a national security event?
Yeah.
Great point.
It's a really great point. Yeah, their emphasis, their focus is on all the wrong things.
Wrong priorities. Totally. Yeah. All right. That is your show. We need some flaps.
Oh, do I need to get flaps? Okay, I'll try to get flaps. Hold on.
Yeah, she needs flaps. We need flaps. It's Friday, man. It's been a week, so I think we need some extra flappage. So yeah, you guys don't be mad if I unfriended you because it really, really wasn't personal at all.
She's not coming.
Oh,
she's got a bone out there and she's like on the ground with a bone and she's old. There's no way she's getting up.
Oh, okay.
There's a bone in her mouth and she looked at me like, I'm not
there. I did some braid flaps.
So,
I don't know what that's
flaps. You guys, I'm sorry. She'll do it next week.
Yeah.
Next week. She's got a bone, so she's fixated.
Sorry.
She's got her stories and her bone, and all she needs is, like we said, some chamomile tea. She's an old lady. That's what she does. All right. So we will talk to you guys on Monday. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye.